Welcome to the Oakleaf Sports Report. I'm your host, Sean Dougherty, and as always, it is my pleasure to bring to you everything you need to know in the world of Bear Cub athletics. The fall semester has had one common theme, and that theme is winning, and no team has exemplified that theme like your Bear Cub volleyball team. Head coach Kelly Wood has the Bear Cubs running like a fine-tuned machine, and the team has not lost a match in over a month. That loss came on the back end of a doubleheader against Shasta and Feather River when the Bear Cubs lost to Feather River in 4 sets. Since then, your Bear Cub volleyball team has only lost 1 set in the last 30 sets of play. That set came against American River last Wednesday here at the JC. The Bear Cubs did prevail in 4 sets by the scores of 25-20, 25-18, then the set that they lost 13-25, and finally put American River away in the 4th set 26-24 to remain undefeated in conference play with a 7-0 record. On Saturday, the team traveled to Aptos to square off against Cabrillo in a non-conference match, and the Bear Cubs swept through Cabrillo by the scores of 25-18, 25-22, finally 25-16. That brings their overall record to 16-2. The Bear Cubs are currently ranked 3rd in Northern California, up from being ranked 8th in the last poll, and are currently 5th in the state rankings. This week, the Bear Cubs are on the road as they travel to Pleasant Hill on Wednesday to square off against Diablo Valley College, then head to Sacramento Friday to take on Sac City. Both games are conference games with only 7 games left on the schedule. These games become just as important as an elimination playoff game. Saturday night was the Clo Classic here at Bailey Field with your Bear Cubs going up against the Foothill Owls. And if you missed it, not only did you miss a great game put on by your Bear Cubs, you missed a whole lot of family fun as well. The athletic program did a great job of putting on the pregame festivities, and we want to point out that most of the booths were manned by the various members of the different teams here at the junior college. First, I have to say, welcome back David Sowards. The freshman quarterback returned to the field for the first time since the Bear Cubs lost to American River back on September 22nd. This game was all Bear Cubs, both offensively and defensively. The first score of the game came with 19 seconds left in the first quarter when linebacker Garrett Guinella intercepted Foothill's Tony Gennaro and returned it 62 yards for a touchdown. Then, on the Bear Cubs' next possession, Sowards would hook up with Logan Valencia on a 15-yard pass to make it 14-0. Then, Lee Aranda hit a 30-yard field goal and then added a 39-yard field goal to make it a 20-0 game. On the final possession of the first half, Sowards would hit Jordan Bergstrom on a 68-yard pass with 19 seconds left to give your Bear Cubs a 27-0 lead going into halftime. The third quarter was fairly uneventful. Foothill's Mario Gomez kicked a 27-yard field goal for Foothill's first score of the game to make it 27-3. But on the next possession, Sowards would throw his third touchdown pass in the game of 38 yards, a 38-yard strike to Terrence Drew with 2 minutes and 8 seconds left in the third quarter to make it 34-3. Aranda would kick a 25-yard field goal to make it 37-3. Foothill would add a touchdown with 6 minutes and 42 seconds left in the game, and that's where things stood as the Bear Cubs win the Clo Classic 37-10. Sowards would finish the game completing 26 out of his 47 passes for a season-high 371 yards with 3 touchdowns. He did throw an interception, but it didn't do anything for the Foothill Owls. Lee Aranda was perfect in his efforts, going 3 for 3 on field goals and 4 for 4 on extra points. Spencer Morrow led the Bear Cubs ground attack with 16 rushes for 92 yards, averaging 5.8 yards per carry. His efforts led to Sowards being highly effective through the air. Jordan Bergstrom led the wide receiving corps with 6 receptions for 120 yards and a touchdown. Hopefully the Bear Cubs can build off of their strong performance this Saturday as they welcome in De Anza to Bailey Field for a 1 o'clock game. Both soccer teams continue their dominance in the Big 8 Conference, and last week the women's team only had 1 game on their schedule as they traveled to Modesto to take on Modesto on Friday and came home victorious, winning by a score of 2-1. Sammy Acevedo scored the Bear Cubs' first goal, getting an assist from Sarah Thompson. Then Hannah Roberts would score an unassisted goal to seal the Bear Cubs' win. This week is a big week for your Bear Cubs as they get set to take on Northern California's 4th-ranked team, Sierra, here at the Junior College at 1 p.m. The Bear Cubs are currently ranked 2nd in Northern California rankings and have jumped up to the 5 spot in the state rankings. After Friday's game against Sierra, the Bear Cubs will have 5 conference games left on their schedule, and only 1 of those are at home. That is a Friday game on November 2nd against Delta. Bear Cub fans, come out this Friday and show your support for the Bear Cubs against Sierra. You will not be disappointed as the Bear Cubs look to make another run at the state title. Your Bear Cub team are currently 6-1-1 in conference and 9-2-1 overall. The men's soccer team has played great consistent soccer all season long, and last week the boys picked up 2 more wins. The first coming against Napa last Tuesday here at the JC, winning that game by a score of 3-0. The Bear Cubs received goals from Octavio Estupian, assisted by Sergio Gutierrez, then Carlos Picana, assisted by Marco Perez, and then Sergio Gutierrez, assisted by Octavio Estupian. Then on Friday, the Bear Cubs traveled to Livermore to take on Los Positos, and in a close game, won 2-1, receiving goals from Dennis Alvarado, who was assisted by Marco Perez, and then Cafu Picana, assisted by Octavio Estupian. Like the women's team, this week the men have a huge game on their schedule as the Bear Cubs welcome in Northern California's 9th-ranked team, Modesto, Friday at 4 p.m. After Friday's game, the Bear Cubs only have 3 games left on their schedule. All 3 are conference games, 2 are on the road, and 1 is at home. The Bear Cubs are currently undefeated in conference play, holding a 4-0 record, and are 12-2-1 overall. The Bear Cubs moved up to the 5th spot overall in the state rankings. So if you're looking for great soccer action this Friday, the JC is definitely the place to be. The men's water polo team took on Delta last Wednesday in a conference doubleheader and picked up their first conference win of the season, beating Delta 14-11. Then over the weekend, it was the Golden West tournament down in Huntington Beach, and in the first game, the Bear Cubs took on Fullerton and got their 2nd win in a row, winning 8-6, but then lost to Delta 12-7. American River 11-7, and then finally lost to Sierra 9-8. This week, the Bear Cubs have their final regular season game as they travel to Sacramento to square off against American River on Wednesday. Then next weekend is the Big 8 tournament back in Sacramento at American River College. The Bear Cubs hold a 7-18 overall record and are 1-3 in the conference. After an 0-7 start to the season, the women's water polo team has really turned things around. And in conference play, the Bear Cubs currently hold a 4-2 record after beating Delta 8-5 here at the JC last Wednesday. This Wednesday is a big game for the Bear Cubs as they travel to Sacramento to take on American River in their final conference game of the season. Then this weekend, we'll travel to San Mateo to take on San Mateo Saturday at 12 o'clock. Even though the Bear Cubs hold a 6-13 record overall, they still have a chance to get back to the playoffs. As we've seen lately here in the Bay Area, anything can happen in the postseason. Saturday, the Bear Cub wrestling team hosted the Northern California Duels here at Hale Pavilion and had a successful day in dual meets, going 3-1 and finishing 4th overall. The Bear Cubs had impressive wins over Delta 47-6, Skyline 48-4, and then Chabot 47-4. The only blemish was the loss to Sac City 40-6. Coming up for the Bear Cubs this Saturday, the 27th, is the Meathead Movers Tournament in San Luis Obispo. But before that, the Bear Cubs will host Skyline this Wednesday. But before the match, the Santa Rosa Junior College Wrestling Program is pleased to bring to you an amazing event featuring Anthony Robles. The 2011 NCAA National Wrestling Champion is on a book tour for his book, Unstoppable. You may have heard about Robles on YouTube or in the news. He is a three-time All-American wrestler, the 2011 NCAA Wrestling Champion, and a Nike-sponsored athlete. He was born without his right leg, but his spirit and unyielding resolve remind us all that we have the power to conquer adversity. Robles is a powerful motivational speaker, and his message will touch athletes and non-athletes alike. You can see him at the meet between Skyline and the Bear Cubs at Towser Gym on Wednesday, October 24th. Robles will speak at 6:30 and the meet will follow. Admission to the event is just $6 for general admission, $4 for students, $2 for seniors and children. SRJC associated students receive free admission. And one other neat thing is that Robles is appearing for free as part of his book tour and will be selling his book, Unstoppable, following the meet. You're also invited to purchase it and get the book signed at the meet by Robles. Also happening this weekend, the junior college will be honoring Bear Cub coaching legend Izzy Durkis by renaming the tennis courts after the coaching icon. Come out to the tennis courts this Saturday at 11 a.m. for a truly monumental event. There will be a number of special speakers and an open mic for anyone who wants to speak about how the coaching legend touched his or her life. After the event, there will be refreshments being served on the courts, and for those wishing to contribute money to the Izzy Durkis Fund, details will be available. For more information, contact Jay Simonti at 707-527-1787 or Jim Forcum at 707-527-4237. And just announced, it's the annual SRJC Bear Trust Polenta Feed, November 17th at St. Eugene's Becker Center. There will be a no-host happy hour that goes from 5:30 to 6:30, and then a catered dinner by Santa Rosa's own Randy Appel at 6:30. As well, there will be an auction and dancing with music being provided by the New Horizon Swing Band. Tickets are only $25 and all proceeds go to Bear Cub Athletics. Join me for a great night of fun and dancing November 17th. Well, that's all for this episode of the Oakleaf Sports Report. Thank you for joining me, Sean Dougherty. As always, it is my pleasure to bring to you everything you need to know in the world of Bear Cub athletics. And remember, you can only win the games in which you play, so make sure you play the game. Go Bear Cubs!